Hello, how are you? I am Enrico Becerra, and I'm the CEO of mycashless. And I'm going to share with you the 15 points you need to know to make the most of your investment at any event or food and beverage operation. So, rule number one at mycashless, we don't allow operators who touch products to touch cash, and vice versa. Operators who touch cash to touch products. We enable a separation where events now have reload stations where people can go reload or top up as you call it, balance on the wristbands, and places where they can go spend that balance in a very fast way. This actually creates four main benefits. The first one is that people don't really want to be reloading many times. So when they go reload and you ask them how much are you going to spend today, everybody has a number in their head. People want to spend 100, 200, 500, some want to do 50, 20, doesn't matter. The point is everybody has their own number and everybody's going to reload the amount they want to spend. And it's kind of like when we were kids and we went to the arcade. Did you ever had coins or tokens and thought, I'm going to keep them and change them for money afterwards? No, not really. Just want to have fun and spend them all. You've already got them. So that's pretty much what happens. People make a decision and now they want to spend them. Second great benefit is that service becomes much faster. The system does not require an internet connection. So that means balance. Once I reload balance at the reload station, and I can pay with cash or with my credit card. And something very important here as well is that mycashless never touches the money. That means the organizer owns their own credit card reading terminals, their own cash boxes, their own crypto QRs in the case they take crypto. And this is nice because the reload stations become way more versatile and you don't need to train the 500 vendors to learn how to take crypto or whatever. And you don't need as many credit card reading terminals. Just make sure you have enough at reload stations. Those need to be plugged to the internet and then people can just reload balance and have it on here. Once they have it on here, system does not require an internet connection. So we can have as many users transacting simultaneously. The system will never crash, will never slow down. It's the fastest. You just get there, beep, 2 beers, beep, thank you, next, beep, 2 burgers, beep, next. And the balance here, it's actually on this chip, on this bracelet. So that means if I reloaded 100 and I went to buy 2 burgers, I may have the person that sells them to me writes down 60 right here. So I got 60 left. So if I go with the ice cream station, they know I've got 60. They sell me 2 ice creams and then I'm back down to 45. And then I go get 2 beers and they charge me 2 beers and I'm down to 15. So every vendor does not require a connection. Eventually, they'll find Signal and synchronize all the transactions they've made, 80 transactions. I like to use the WhatsApp example. You may be on the road or on a plane and you may not have Signal and you want to send a voice note or a message on WhatsApp, and WhatsApp's not going to tell you, hey, stop, don't record or don't write a type of message. You can't do it right now. No, they just keep it, and then eventually when you have Signal, they'll be sent over. Same logic with mycashless, which is actually not the logic with Visa, MasterCard, or American Express. They need Signal in order to process your payment. So, people have already reloaded in a very easy and versatile way at reload stations. They have the number on their bracelets. They go spend at speed. Also, vendors no longer touch cash, so there's no wasted time giving you change. There's no prices manipulation. There's no petty theft. And as well, everything is registered. So that means the organizer knows everything that happened, from what was sold, at which areas, from which vendors to which customers, and who their best customers are, as we like to call them, MVGs, most valuable guests. And something we found out at the stadium right now, for example, is that the top 5% spenders spend 10 times the average spending at the stadium. And there's a probability, a rule, a social rule, sociology rule to be precise, that says that there's a 90% chance that your friends are going to spend the same amount that you do or a similar amount that you do. So stadiums are now realizing that the top 5% spenders, why don't you give them 1, 2, 3 tickets? And kind of like Uber, you can just tell them, hey, invite a friend, we'll give you $10 and we'll give your friend $10. So stadiums with us, with mycashless, are starting to do that now, to fill it up with more spending guests. Focus on quality before quantity. Now, the system, as I mentioned, does not require an internet connection. So that gives you unlimited scale, hundreds of thousands of users transacting simultaneously. System will never crash. System will not slow down. and you have all data of users. Many events are anonymous. That means they give you a wristband and we don't know who you are. Just have a good time, reload and enjoy, and refund according to whatever refund rules the organizer sets. It's gift card regulation, meaning it's the same as selling an iTunes card or a Netflix card at a convenience store. You're selling balance for guests to spend. It's actually funny money, as you guys call it in the US. So that's the beautiful thing. But other clients do ask for some data, like a phone number. Hey, why do you want my phone number? In the case you lose your wristband, you can block it with your mobile number. Oh, thank you. Yeah, 915, blah, blah, blah. And then you find out who your best spenders are and you have a contact so you can invite them over, right? Now, as I mentioned, the money, mycashless never touches the money. mycashless is your bridge between money and products, and it's also your auditing system. So it wouldn't be good if a company that's auditing also has a participation on the money handling. So we enable organizers to bring their own POS terminals and manage money by themselves, even though if you need a service of us providing you with a credit card rating terminals, we can do that as well. And I'll explain in a bit what's the new stuff we're brought in, which pretty much enables users to do everything from their phones and still transacting in offline mode or airplane mode, as you want to call it. Now, there are 4 instruments. People have reloaded balance, which is great. But there's also promo balance. Promo balance, many of our clients, organizers, use it as an incentive, as cashback kind of. So if you reload more than $300, we'll give you 10% in promo balance. Or many other clients we have also use it for VIP areas. They may sell tables for $5,000, $10,000, and that includes an amount that you can spend on site. So they use promo balance as an amount that's non-refundable and that can only be spent at a certain area or at a certain category of products. You can limit promo balance to be used at whatever products or categories you want. Also, we have tokens as a third instrument. Tokens are specific products. Some of our clients use it for sampling. It may be a non-alcoholic beer, or it may be unlimited waters for designated drivers, or it could be, right now, for example, at a festival we just did last weekend for 40,000 people, one of our clients, the organizer sponsors, wanted to sample 800 drinks. It's a lemon drink. So they gave it away to 800 people who had a token. And then they monitored what was the purchase behavior from these guests. And they found out how many of them actually continue to purchase the drink. And the ones who purchase it most, what do they look like? What's their profile? What's their age? Their everything, no? So what's the outcome of implementing mycashless at any event or food and beverage operation? Well, revenue will increase by 35% minimum. Where does this increase come from? 15% comes from speed of service, which is much faster. The other 50% comes from the elimination of petty theft. And an additional 5% comes from unclaimed balance. And while many of our clients offer on-site refunds in cash, as well as online refunding by users claiming it online, half of users who had balance left just don't care to claim it. They may have $1 or $2 or $5 and they just see it as a tip. They had a blast and they just leave it for the organizer, and that becomes pure profit. And this is an additional 5%, which most of the times pays for the mycashless service. We have clients who have an 14% of unclaimed balance, and mycashless is costing them 7%. So if you have an increase of 35% in revenue, how much is mycashless cost? How much is it going to cost you? Well, mycashless, just to give you a rough idea, it's going to cost up to 10% of your expected revenue, down to 5% if your event is very large or if people are spending a lot. So it'll range between 10% and 5%, meaning that if you increase 35% and your cost is 10, you're creating an ROI, return on your investment, of 3.5x. We actually, when we quote you at the quote, we don't see at least a 3x return projected, we'll let you know. Some of our clients let us know and tell us, hey, I don't care that I have a 2x return on my investment because I'm going for the data, which is one of the most valuable things, of course. But many others, we tell them, if you don't have a projected 3x, it's best not to do it. Wait for a larger event, wait for an event where people spend more, so you get at least a 3x on your return on your investment. Now, larger events whose mycashless cost is 5%, and they get a minimum increase of 35%, they're getting a 7x ROI, which makes sense. It's pretty healthy. We actually have right now a baseball stadium success story that we love because they doubled their revenue first year using my cashless, and they tripled revenue on their second year using my cashless. They multiplied their investment in my cashless by 14x. So you're like, wow, I mean, I don't want to create any false expectations, but that can happen. We'll see. Now, this being said, where do these costs come from? What is it about? Why 10%? Why 5%? Well, half of that, 10 or 5% costs, are software licenses. So that's pretty much having the system working. And it's kind of like Uber. Uber calculates your tariff based on time and distance. At my cashless, we calculate that licensing tariff based on the amount of devices you deploy, the size of your operation, let's put it that way, as well as the volume of revenue you create. There's a percentage commission that we charge. So we combine these calculations, and half of the investment in my cashless will be licenses, software licensing. The other half are additionals that you can actually avoid in the future. We recommend you to start by paying them, and I'll tell you what those additionals are. It's 4 items pretty much. The first one are wristbands or cards, which you can also use. Wristbands may be up to 45%, 50% of the investment sometimes. Then devices. The devices are mobile phones that are made for events. Their battery lasts 18 hours. They can be hanged. They're made for battle. Now, they can be rented, they can be leased, they can be purchased. It depends. Then we have supervising staff from my cashless. They actually come in, bring those mobile phones with products and prices pre-configured. They train cashiers, they train on-site all vendors, security guards for access control. And they're the first ones arriving and they're the last ones leaving. They collect on mobile phones, give you a report, synchronize all data, and their travel expenses. We're going to send you one staff from our team per every 2,500 guests you have. So it's really not that much. If you have 10,000 guests, we're going to send 4 people with the mobile phones and make the magic happen. Now, 74% of our clients have become autonomous, operating my cashless, and they're do-it-yourself pretty much. They no longer pay staff. They get customer service at a distance included. They no longer pay the travel expenses. They purchase their own mobile devices, so no longer renting. And I'm going to talk about our new development, which can actually make you avoid purchasing wristbands, which was the biggest investment on implementing my cashless. We have one of our investors. He's great, and one time he told me, "You got to think chipless if you really want to scale this." And I was like, "Chipless? What do you mean? Forget about the wristband." And I was like, "But how? This is our bridge. This is the offline solution, as I explained before." Well, and we eventually came up with an idea that we built and we patented, which is, we call it the digital wristband or the digital chip, which is an app that guests download maybe pre-event or during the event, and they can add balance onto it. And once they do, they only need signal for 2 moments, downloading the app, and then every time they want to bring balance in by charging their Visa, Amex, or whatever kind of credit card. And important, again, my cashless doesn't touch the money. So what we do is we plug in your Stripe account. So the organizer has all funds that come in through the app. And users now get to skip reload stations. They can just click on it, boom, download money, and go spend in offline mode. We're actually deploying pretty soon 2 new features. One is called Open Voucher, which is kind of like at hotels when they pre-authorize a charge for a big amount, and then eventually they just charge you the amount you spent. We're deploying that pretty soon, where you'll be able to just pre-authorize a charge $5,000, and then if you only spend $2,000, that's the amount that's going to be charged. So there's no need for refunds. And then also we're deploying Instant Pay. Instant Pay does require a connection, and does once you scan a purchase, let's say a $38 purchase, boom, it'll ask the internet if you have credit on your credit card, and then charge the card. This pretty much works as any wallet, but it has the fallback of, okay, there's no signal, you're not being able to pay because we have too many people, go reload. No, so that's why we use reloading, because that way we enable fast operations no matter the scale, okay, at fast speed always. So have you ever wondered why ticketing companies never allowed you to use your ticket at the bar? Do you know why? Well, It's actually pretty funny. It's a matter of internet connectivity. Ticketing companies, as you may have known, they use signal when they're scanning tickets at the door. Sometimes that signal gets too saturated, and as we call it, this is the access dilemma. The ticketing company has the dilemma of whether telling everyone to stop entering and wait for the signal to give you the green, or just let them in. I mean, they have a ticket in their hand. They surely have a ticket, right? What's happened, and we come from Mexico, the country with the highest e-commerce fraud in the world, and sometimes we think this company had to be built in Mexico because we have a lot of problems and issues and fraud in Mexico. So that's why we're so strong and robust regarding all these topics. But anyways, people have realized that they can use the same ticket and at 5 different doors and enter at the same time, because usually the scanners are going to give you the green. So we've had clients tell us, hey, so ticketing companies have a conflict of interest. And I was like, how come? Well, because they tell you they sold 100,000 tickets, and then they auto-audit themselves and they tell you they've let 100,000 people in. But I see 120,000 people at the event. Where do those other 20,000 people come from? So we realized, well, they're letting people in because they don't have an internet connectivity. And that's why no ticketing company ever allowed you to use your ticket at the bar. Always you had to pull out a different method of payment, a credit card, cash, or maybe even a bracelet to purchase and enjoy a fast purchase experience in offline mode if you have a wristband. And also a lot of cashless companies out there, they've wanted to connect because, of course, anticipating revenue from balanced reloads, it's gold to promoters. But even if you anticipated that revenue at a ticketing company or whatever, users had to come with their QR and exchange that QR for balance on the wristband so they could enjoy an offline purchase experience. And that created lines. That was a touch point that you had to do as a user. You had to go transfer that QR to your wristband. So now, when users are downloading the digital chip app, they no longer need to go pick up a wristband. There's no wristband logistics. You can actually use the app in offline mode for access and at the bar. So we've unified, we're the first system and only system in the world that's unified access and purchases. So we're telling ticketing companies, sell more, sell tickets and balance, and connect with an API with mycashless, where maybe John Smith purchased 5 tickets and reloaded $500 of balance. The ticketing company is going to ask mycashless to deliver a unique link for John. John will click on it and download the app that's going to work as entry and spending at bars as a seamless, unified experience. Now, this also saves a lot of money to organizers because they no longer need to set up as many reload stations. People are already reloading from their phones and enjoying fast purchase experiences. Also, as I mentioned, there's no logistics delivering the wristbands. The app is free. You don't need to pay for the wristbands, and now you can actually sell the wristbands to whoever didn't download the app. And it's the most eco-friendly solution there is out there, and it's saving you up to 70% of what mycashless would have cost you before the digital chip app. We actually just had a great success story. We do Formula E, which are electric cars, kind of like Formula One, but electric. And we do Mexico City, and we were just invited to do Formula E Brazil, mostly because their number wasn't getting there, and they were like, how can we adjust the budget? Well, make much less wristbands and produce much less reload stations, and that created savings of 45% for our clients. They saved 45% in cashless implementations. And then people in Brazil, 32% of guests prefer to use the app, even though it had a 5% convenience fee on the app, because Stripe is a little bit more expensive than the credit card reading terminals on site. People didn't care. Even though the wristband was free, they don't care. And something amazing as well is that the organizer can't speak to the wristband, but they can actually speak to the app by pre-programming notifications where you can configure, for example, people who do A and B, suggest them to do M. Or if people actually drink this beer, invite them to share that content on social media. And if these guys invite their friends and their friends come in, give them promo balance. So you can program and auto execute this kind of notifications for users to have a better experience and a more viral experience. And it's free again. So I would be more than happy to help you out elevate the experience at your event without running risks of internet downtimes and investing a lot of money on internet infrastructure. Forget about all that. We don't even need to go scout the venue or location and check if there's internet. We just don't care. We just arrive a day earlier with everything pre-programmed, and we'll see your revenue jump. And we're more than happy to help you raise the bar and do your events with mycashless. Success!